the level of compliance in this local government?
You're not the only one here.
In the last 3 days?
From the reports that I have got, I have also driven ranch, is very high.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you said 21 persons were arrested, and yet
And
5,000 bikes were impounded. And what happened to
You know, some of them will leave their bikes and take off.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Sir.
Following the ban of motorcycle, which took effect from the 1st of June 2022, and as you can see, a good number of motorcycles, popularly called Okada, has been seized by the Lagos State Task Force, and they are set to be crumbled today. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of motorcycles. Over 2,000 motorcycles are here in the task force office here in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria.
Sir, transportation is a big contributor to a 21st century economy state. Now, what's the future plan for Lagos State after eradicating these motorcycles, the first mile, the last mile buses? What are the future plans of Lagos State?
Well, as you know, Lagos State has a population of 22 million. We cater for about 14 million trips every day. And it's important that we bring in mass transportation. And that's why we're investing in rail. We are aware that the blue line, which is from Marina to Okukumaiko, we are first stopping at Mile 2, will be operational by first quarter 2023. And then we have the red line, also from Agbado all the way to Wingbo. That will be operational by first quarter 2023. Apart from that, there's a bus reform going on. So we have our BLT programs. We have 3 BLTs currently running. We have 14 in the strategic transport master plan. It's important that we move people in mass from one point to the other. We can't continue to move people in small numbers, and that's why we're investing in the rail, we're investing in the BLT, we're reforming the bus sector, we are reforming our water transportation. The government has invested in more boats, and most importantly, we're integrating all the various modes of transport so that people can move from one mode to the other seamlessly and then pay with just one ticket. So these are part of the investment that we're putting into transportation to make sure that people can move sustainably from one point to the other.
Okay, these are great plans, but are there maintenance plans for them to sustain them in the state?
Oh, of course, they are, and that's why the private sector has to come in. Government cannot do everything, and what we want is to privatize most of our lines to the private sector, and then with that we develop an SLA, and that would include a maintenance plan. So in regulating, we would ensure that there are certain parameters that they need to meet, just to make sure that the buses are you reflect the buses, you maintain the buses, and then the people of Lagos State get good value for money.
And
No doubt.
What about some of the interior places where these buses cannot get to? Are there plans to ensure that like kekes are made available, or the korokpes are made available in each street, so that the impact of this ban of Okada will not really be felt?
So that's why I said we have a bus reform. When you look at the bus system, there are 3 levels of modes in the bus sector. So you have the BLT, which would ply the expressways. You have the blue buses that will go, that will act as feeders, and then you have the first and last ones that will go into the community. So the first and last ones are the ones that are supposed to go into your community, and that's why they're about 10 seaters, 8 to 10 seaters. They will go in and then bring people out. They'll bring them to the expressways so that they can board the feeders as well as the BLT. So there's a hierarchy of system that we're deploying just to make sure that we serve all our communities in Lagos State.
Sir, no doubt, people who drive these commercial motorcycles are very recalcitrant. What are you doing to ensure that they don't come back after some time?
Okay, so there are some good ones, and yesterday we spoke to the union, and we asked them to form a cooperative, and so that we can give them first and last mile, so that we can employ some of them. Others who do not have skills, we do not want them in Lagos. So, and that's why you have the enforcement agency working around the clock just to make sure that people who do not need to be in Lagos are not in Lagos. We want people who have something to contribute to come to Lagos, people who have skills, so that we can begin to develop the economic potential of Lagos State. So we don't want anybody just coming into Lagos just because they can pick up Okada or they can sleep under the bridge. So this is going to be a resistance to that.
Does the state government intend to regulate tricycles to end the state? Tricycle
Tricycle is also not part of the strategic transport master plan. But we understand the gap that we have in our system. So over time, as we develop our rail system, as we develop the BLC, as we up the numbers of boats, I think tricycles will simply disappear. But how would they disappear? We would incorporate them into the new system that we're developing so that they form cooperatives and they can run the So there's a systematic approach to ensuring that when we get rid of one, we absorb them into another.
So what's your message for Lagosians?
My message for Lagosians is that they should be calm. Lagosians should respect the traffic law. We have provided alternatives to Okada. There's the first and last mile. We are putting in, we're putting more high-capacity buses on the road. The government is working around the clock to make sure that our rail system is working. We've increased the number of boats on our waterways, and they should just be calm and move about the daily business calmly. Let's not break the law. Let's not try and be too. Let's not be in a haste to get to where we want to get to, because you never know. It might be you tomorrow. So you climb on an Okada today, and then the next minute you're dead, and you can understand the pain that will leave for the family. And so they should be calm. They should respect the law, and let's together build a livable Lagos state.
Thank you, sir.
The place, about 15 of them are being built as I speak with you, in Badagry, in Liverpool, in Apapa, in Maitu, in Ijede, and so many other places that we are building jetties. So Lagosians will embrace waterways. And by the grace of God, by the end of this year, the blue line and the red line train services will be test run. By the first quarter of next year, Lagosians will have passengers going on those.
Say generally the atmosphere and response from both the public and the Okada riders who are affected directly.
It's because of the security problem. No. They are coming here. And are you going to say that because there are security problems
So far, so good, because it's not something that came into play just on the 1st of June. The enforcement came on the 1st of February 2020, and since then we have been on it. It's just that people believe in violating the law, which I don't think is good enough in a cosmopolitan city like this. But since on the 1st of June, there has been more than 85% compliance. 85% compliance in the sense that we don't see Okadas on the road, on the express any longer. The number has drastically reduced. But I know for sure, and I'm passing this information to them because they are watching us. They might be of the belief that the first 1 week of the enforcement will be thorough. After 1 week, we are going to relax. Anyway, we'll watch and see. But I'm passing this message to them that from next week, we will do more intense enforcement. Even those areas we cannot get to this week, we are going to extend. You can see that this started on Wednesday. So another phase will start on Monday. These 3 first days of enforcement is just to check the number of compliance. Then the sustainability plan is the next phase, which we are going to enter on Monday.
So what you are saying in essence is that there is no going back?
Everybody knows there is no going back because it's government policy. Government does not make mockery of their decisions. So there is no going back. It's government decision. How we intend to sustain it is by living up to our responsibilities. We are law enforcers. We cannot back out on operation ground because when you're on operation and you back out, you have to be on the
offensive. But because it's Okada operation, when we see offensive, it's not as if we are attacking anybody, but we are advancing. We are making them to understand that we are on ground to do our job.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. So many times you get to see uniformed personnel also fly this same bike, and most times we see uniformed personnel carrying passengers on the bike. The bikeman uses as a bait for them to also want to engage with other commuters also to want to come back to the road. Is there a policy or a regulation in place right now to address this particular issue?
Since on the 1st of June, it has taken a new dimension, a very thorough dimension, and you will not see any policeman, any uniformed personnel, any paramilitary, any military officer using his half-dress uniform to carry passengers. It has been a matter of principle now. You are a police officer, you are a naval officer, you belong to the paramilitary. When you have to use your bike, you must be in uniform. You must be fully kitted. The law does not respect anybody. So if this is the position of the law, we must align ourselves with it. So I'm putting it to you that no policeman, no any uniform officer has been empowered to use mufti dress to operate bike. Everybody must be well dressed before they can operate.
All right, sir. Just before I let you go, sir, there's a question that borders on when it comes to this issue of bikemen and plying the road. We've come to see also when Benjamin Odeyi made this call on. When Benjamin Odeyi made the call, when they said that it's going to be 1st of June, we saw police officers took in actions and the police officers started arresting bikes prior to the 1st of June. And like you said, that it was supposed to have been from February. So we want to know if these bikemen that were arrested prior to 1st of June, are they traffic offenders already, and would they also be brought to book?
This particular pronouncement of 1st June does not invalidate that of 1st of February 2020. Is still very much in force. The one that was pronounced on the 1st of February 2020 is still very much in force. And that particular pronouncement banned Okada in all these 6 local governments and all the LCDAs in the 6 local governments. The 6 local governments and the LCDAs, Local Council Development Authorities, and the same policy that affects Okadas affects all the tricycles that are operating in those houses. And at the same time, you understand that Korope was not operating in Lagos until February 2020. It was when they banned Okada, when they banned tricycles, that people started buying Korope. But it was just early this year that we started seeing inflow of tricycles again. And we started seeing inflow of motorcycles in large number. If you travel on the express, you discover that a lot of them are just coming. But this is just the position of the government, and we just need to abide by it.
Thank you so much. Your name again?
Your name again?
Chairman Task Force.
Okay.
Thank you.
viewers, my name is David reporting for Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper in Nigeria. And as you can see here, like the task force office, and right in front of us, motorcycles, popularly called Okada, are being crushed. And this is going to go on for a long time because we have over 2,000 motorcycles here in the compound. You can't stay there. No, not stay, but